Everybody saw the elegance, the effortless footwork, the shots that seemed drawn rather than hit. Roger Federer playing tennis looked like something that had always existed, as if the game itself had been waiting for him. Winning felt natural. Movement felt light. Greatness looked easy. From the outside, it seemed like a gift without a price. But talent brings its own kind of struggle. Because being gifted does not mean being ready. Few remember that Federer was not always calm. Few remember the frustration, the broken rackets, the anger that surfaced when things didn't go his way. As a young player, he didn't lose because he lacked ability. He lost because his emotions arrived faster than his control. Every mistake felt personal. Every setback felt unfair. Talent gave him possibilities, but discipline had to be learned. Before becoming a symbol of composure, Federer had to grow into himself. And growing is rarely elegant. He learned to slow down, to breathe, to stay present instead of reacting. He learned that talent without structure collapses under pressure. And that calm is not something you are born with. It is something you build. His first real victory was not a trophy. It was balance. Once that balance arrived, dominance followed. Titles accumulated. The game bent to his rhythm. For years, Federer didn't only win. He defined the standard. Then came Wimbledon, 2008. 5 hours on centre court. A final that felt endless. Against a younger Rafael Nadal. It was more than a loss. It was a signal. The game Federer had mastered was changing, and it was changing against him. Success still came, but expectation grew heavier. Not just to win, but to represent something. Federer was no longer only a player. He was a reference point. How tennis should look, how champions should behave, how greatness should sound. That role carried weight, because perfection leaves little room for error. And elegance is rarely allowed to crack. Every loss felt amplified. Not because he lost, but because it broke the illusion. People weren't disappointed by defeat. They were disappointed by imperfection. And Federer felt that. He understood that being admired is different from being understood. Admiration demands consistency. Understanding allows humanity. For years, Federer lived between those two spaces. Then the era shifted. Djokovic arrived, relentless and precise. Margins disappeared, rallies stretched, control replaced instinct. Years passed without slam titles. Finals reached. Opportunities missed. Not because Federer had lost his talent, but because the world around him had grown sharper. His greatest adversary was no longer across the net. It was time. Recovery demanded more. Preparation became meticulous. Small injuries lingered. For the first time, Federer had to face something talent could not solve. Decline. And decline is a word gifted people are never taught how to handle. The question was no longer how to win. It was whether to continue. Many would have protected the image. Many would have stepped away to preserve the myth. Federer chose something more difficult. He chose adaptation. He changed his equipment. He adjusted his game. He shortened points. Not because it was easier, but because it was necessary. Then came Australia, 2017. After years of doubt, surgery, and silence, Federer returned. Not dominant, but free. That title was not about supremacy. It was about resilience, a reminder that greatness could still exist without control. 2 years later, Wimbledon 2019. Championship points, centre court holding its breath. The ending everyone expected. But the ending didn't come. The match slipped away. Again. And yet, something felt complete. Because by then, Federer was no longer playing for a perfect ending. He was playing to honor the journey. Wins still came. Losses came too. But each appearance carried intention. Federer showed that elegance is not the absence of struggle. It is how you move through it. His career became a lesson rarely told. Talent is only the beginning. Beauty must be protected by work, and even the most gifted must eventually learn how to let go. Roger Federer did not win because life was easy. He won because he learned to grow when ease disappeared. His legacy is not just trophies or titles. It is the proof that grace can survive pressure. That identity can remain intact even as time takes its toll. Everybody saw the beauty. Few saw the adaptation. But perhaps the truest happy ending is this: an entire generation fell in love with tennis because of him. Roger Federer was not great because tennis came easily. He was great because, when it didn't anymore, he stayed.